I guess I'll just give a brief of the story. We had a altercation that came in with a guy on a machete that he was trying to stab somebody. Several officers showed up. They challenged the guy. I showed up just seconds behind them. I saw the guy in the yard. When he was being challenged, he ran eastbound towards an alley. I challenged him with a canine, gave him a warning. He refused to stop. He still had the machete in his hand. I ended up sending canine MP to apprehend the suspect. When MP caught up with him in the alley, and it looked like that he knocked the machete out of his hand when he apprehended him. He apprehended him in the forearm. When I ran up, I could see that he was stabbing MP in the top of the head and the neck with a knife, with a pocket knife, with a smaller one. I went to intervene. I ended up engaging the suspect. At one point, the suspect swung the knife at me. The second time, I fell backwards. That's the point when I injured my hand. I hit down on the ground. I saw several officers with their tasers out. I yelled for the officers to tase him, that he was stabbing the dog, at which time they tased him. He then went down to the ground. He still had the knife, wasn't giving up. He got tased, I believe, one more time. The dog was apprehending him the whole time. The dog didn't give up. He stayed in the fight. At that point, the guy finally gave up the knife, and he was able to take him into custody. I saw the dog was injured, so I rushed him over to the pet ER at Lake Osendelling, where he sought medical treatment, and he ended up getting stabbed. At the time, I thought he got stabbed like 15, 20 times, just being in a high-stress situation. It looked like he got a major one on the top of the head. He got one right between the eyes right here, and then one in the neck. And he had some little cuts all over that he might have just got nicked with.
What was going through your mind? Like, how were you feeling when the dog was attacked?
It was pretty intense, especially running up there. I had seconds to decide to do something, that he was stabbing the dog. So.
Can you talk about the bond that you have between an officer and a dog?
I think it's pretty serious. Just the bond between anybody and their dog is pretty serious, and then you take an officer who, this guy has been my shadow the last 6.5 years, 7 years. He comes to work with me 40 hours. We're doing drills at work, we're in high stress situations, and then when we go home, he's at home with me. You know, we're eating dinner and he's playing with the kids, and then we go back to work. So he sees me more than anyone else.
You said that, while the guy is stabbing the dog is apprehending the guy. Can you describe what that means? What is the dog doing while the dog is being stabbed?
Well, apprehension is a polite word to say bite. So he's biting the guy in the forearm for the apprehension. During the whole time, MP is biting the guy in the forearm. He's not letting go. He stayed in the fight the whole time.
How'd that make you feel? I mean, do you think it's kind of pointing to his training that your dog was stabbed that many times and he still, didn't give up, didn't stop trying to help you and do his job?
Yes, absolutely. He's a terrific dog. I think he's one of the toughest dogs that we have. They're all tough. The breed alone, the Belgian Malinois, is one of the reasons we have them, because they can, someone puts a fight to them, they bring it up that level. So.
How do you train him to do that when he's being hurt?
How we train him to do that? Well, we try to do scenarios where I call it agitation, where I'm wearing the bite suit, and I'll have a stick and I'll hit it against the dog, just to show, hey, it's okay if someone, kind of bring up the fight in the agitator, so the dog brings it up too. I mean, we're not hurting them in training, but we're trying to repeat that scenario for the street.
Do you know if this has affected him psychologically?
We won't know that. We're going to wait till he heals up, and then whenever we have a bite, we'll run him through training and see if there's any training issues that we need to address. So.
But that's a possibility that after a dog is attacked or seriously injured, it can behave differently, or
sure.
maybe struggle to do his job after that.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a dog, canine Airy, who apprehended a suspect, and P didn't get tased this time, but Airy had got tased. And then so we redid the drill, and we shot off tasers and see if it affected him, and he had no issues.
Someone tased Airy?
Correct. An officer. Because the guy was fighting the dog at the same time. So.
And can you talk about you said that you went to the emergency ER, that's just right over here, the vet, right, the all-night vet?
Yes.
Just right near here. Can you talk about just how serious that was, like how many hours he, spent getting patched up?
He was there probably 4 or 5 hours. They kind of looked him over, looked kind of assessment of his injuries. He was around an hour surgery and then a couple hours to recover. and I was able to take him home that night.
How long have you been working with MP?
6.5 years, 6 years? I think it's 6 years in September.
How would that situation have played out differently if MP hadn't been there, if you'd just been there by yourself?
If I had been there, well, you know, they say police dogs save lives, and I agree with that. You know, the guy could have seriously hurt me. We may have had to use a higher level force on the guy if MP wasn't there, so that guy might not be here today, unfortunately. So, and then if he had gone away, he could have, you know, he tried to assault somebody once with a machete. He could have assaulted somebody else in the neighborhood with a machete if he'd gone away, if MP didn't catch him. So you're looking at the community that the police dog helps. You're looking at the officers, and you're looking at the suspect himself. So.
How many dogs have you had, you know, been a handler for, and have any of them been injured in the line of duty? And
MP's my first dog I've been a handler for. So, and he's gotten minor injuries going over fences and stuff like that, getting scraped, but nothing this serious.
And sir, it sounds like you'll test MP to see how he performs after this.
Yeah, we do that after every apprehension.
But just, you know, he lives with you, right? So, like, have you noticed, is he behaving differently just, you know, as far as you can tell, just as the owner?
The first half day, he was kind of moping around. And then after that, he kind of started becoming more himself, and he's a lot more lively. You know, he's on a special diet of French fries and ice cream, so to help him heal. He's getting a little spoiled right now.
What's next for MP at this point?
Just to heal, and then we'll do the training and see if he has any issues with that.
When do you expect he will be fully recovered?
Just right now, it's just stitches. So 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I've waited the 2 weeks for him with stitches before, and had the vet take him out, and then they popped open. So these are pretty bigger. We'll probably wait a little bit longer than that.
What's it been like for you? I mean, you said you guys have been working together 40+ hours for the last 6 years, and now he's kind of on R&R, and you're still in the job. So has it been a little weird, kind of going about doing your business without him there?
It's a little weird, just because I still have a job to do, and I have to kind of care for him too. So it's a little bit more stress, but we'll get through it. We've done it before.
Do you want to go grab MP and bring him out so they can get some video of him? And
Yeah, absolutely.
what would be the best possible?
Yeah, he's got his stitches, so we can't bring him, you know, and let him mingle about people. But
Right.
bring him out.
He'll be excited. He'll try to rub up on you and get pets, but
I just had one other quick question. I see some injuries on your hands. You were injured in this conflict too?
Yes.
How are you doing with that?
I'm fine. I just got to get maybe, I got cut pretty bad here from the ground, a lot of gravel and stuff, and then maybe a sprain or dislocated finger. So.
Anything else about you want to add?
I read that you know, in the military, a dog will be given a rank, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have like staff sergeant, ruffles, or whatever, and it's often the rank like above his handler. Does MP have a rank, and if so, does he outrank you?
No, we can do seniority here. So whenever he was hired, then he has seniority over that officer. No, we don't do that here.
Who has seniority?
I have seniority. I try to have seniority.
Is there ever conflict on that?
Yes.
At the end of the day, though, like when you're out with a dog, I mean, I know a lot of times, you know, it's like a lot of what you do in your job is relying on that canine. Is how valuable are these assets? You know, these dogs. I mean, you mentioned that before when they're bringing down subjects. I mean, obviously, you know, had this scenario, had he not been there, like what would your thought process be if you had to chase this person down, you know, on your own, as opposed to just being able to let this dog do what it does?
It's hard to say. You'd have to be a lot more tactically sound and not rush in there because the guy's wielding a knife. And so, you know, there goes the greater aspect of the greater chance of him escaping and getting into the community, and we can't find the guy. So, obviously, no one wants to go chase and tackle a guy with a machete.
Now, where was this happening? Like in a yard or an alley, a street, and it was dark? Did you ever lose sight of the suspect?
It was dark. We didn't lose sight of him. This happened, I want to say, the 3900 block of Peterkin in Mountain View. So pretty much the intersection of Peterkin and North Flower.